it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Hello! Today I'm so excited to share with you my March 2020 bonus project kit. Every single month when you place an order with me that is $40 or more, you get a free project kit in the mail. This is sort of my way of bringing my regular Stamp Club to you. So you get 3 pre-cut projects, and using the host code, I'm also able to send along a gift. So the gift for March orders was a package of these faceted dots, which include the Mint Macaron, Grapefruit Grove, or Blackberry Bliss, and Basic Black colors in 3 different sizes. And then, like I said, the pre-cut pieces to make 3 different projects. So today's video, I am going to walk through how to make the projects, give you some tips, and you also get a little picture like this and access to a bonus project page. I've covered up the password. In addition, you get a bonus PDF from me, which is exclusive when you make a purchase from me. You get those extra ideas. So for the month of March, it was the Tropical Oasis suite that I highlighted with those bonus PDFs. So let's start with that Tropical Oasis project. So the first project here is a mini pizza box. These are so cute and perfect for small little gifts or party favors. So I've got all of the pieces ready to go. So all you have to do is some simple stamping and assembly. So let's start with this pizza box. This has a coating on it, which makes it food safe. So you can package a cookie in here or other food items, or you could do a wrapped candy or wrapped gift in here. So you're going to start by folding the sides in, and then let's just get rid of these little tabs, and the front is going to fold up and over and tuck into the little slots. Okay, so that's the front of it, and then we'll do some folding on the score lines. Then this is going to fold in and tuck inside like a mini pizza box. Isn't that just the most adorable thing? Now, these boxes will hold, they're sized to hold little 3x3 cards. So if you have some 3x3 cards and envelopes, you could package those in here as well. Look at how perfect that is. So that's a really fun way to use the box as well. Let's go ahead and put together our focal point. This is a piece of the Tropical Oasis designer paper. This is 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And we're going to layer it on a piece of 3x3 lovely lipstick cardstock. So really simple. Then we're going to stamp our tag. This is the Timeless tag punch that I've pre-punched for you. And we're using the Timeless Tropical stamp set to stamp a flower and some words. So we're going to stamp the flower in So Saffron. And I just took the colors from the designer paper, and then the words are going to be in Early Espresso. This says, "Rest and relax, you deserve it." And I thought that was very appropriate for this stamp set and this theme. So a nice little gift to give someone who deserves a relaxing break. Like all of our first responders, and our hospital workers and everyone, all the essential workers, they're going to need like a really awesome vacation to somewhere tropical and beautiful when this is all over with. They really do deserve it. I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals to put the tag in the center of the designer paper, and then I'm going to use liquid glue to add the ribbon to the card. This is a really thick ribbon. It's the braided burlap. It's part of the Tropical Oasis suite, and I'm just not sure it's going to stick very well with anything else. So I think the liquid glue is the way to go. And then you'll get one of the Tropical Oasis trinkets. It may be different than mine. This is the ukulele. There's also a pineapple, a flower, and then the last one is a leaf. So your tropical trinket may be different in your make and take kit. And then we're going to assemble the box. So this is going to be the belly band, and as you can probably guess, it is a little bit small, but I'm going to show you how to bridge the two together. First, we're going to take the cardstock. This is 8.5 by 1 3/4 inches, and we're just going to kind of burnish it. You can do this against a table edge or with your fingers or a bone folder, and this is just softening the fibers of the cardstock so that it's easier to fold and mold around our box. So we're going to start with putting that in the back and then folding the sides up to the front. I'm going to give it a little crease here on the sides, and we're going to attach the square using Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to put a Stampin' Dimensional, 2 on either side like this, and then we're going to have the 3x3 cardstock bridge and create that belly band. So nothing that I'm putting on is sticking to the box. This means that we'll be able to slide it off and on, so we don't have to destroy our tag before or in order to access the gift. Okay, so that's just sort of bridging, and you can't even see the two ends. So this can slide off, and you have your gift inside, and it can slide right back on. All right, really clean and simple. I'm just gonna grab, I have one little sample to show you of a similar box I did with the Sailing Home suite. So I just changed the colors and the designer paper and the embellishments and made something very similar, but different. So this is a great way to use any designer paper. So if you've got paper like the birthday bonanza maybe that you want to do for a party favor, like this paper here, this would be so cute with this little pizza box as well. So speaking of birthday bonanza, let's go ahead and move to our next card. This Birthday Bonanza paper is one of my favorite in the January through June mini catalog. I love that it's so bright. It's got these colorful critters, and this paper is also a strip from that paper. So you can see we've got some different patterns that are really bright and neutral, and also we've got those fun little birthday critters. So I'm going to use the stripe piece. This piece is 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and then I've got a piece of Mango Melody, which is 1/2 inch by 5.5, and then the Daffodil Delight ribbon. It was on back order for a while, but it's back in stock. And then we've got a little Whisper White tag and our designer paper. So you don't need to have the coordinating stamp set. If you get the designer paper, then you can create cards by cutting out the little critters and using them as a focal point on your project. So this is the case for a lot of different paper. One of them I'm thinking of is the dinosaur paper, Dino Roar, from the annual Stampin' Up catalog. So that's another good one. Maybe you have little boys who love dinosaurs, but you don't want to get the whole stamp set. Then you can just get the designer paper and just cut out some of the images to use on your card. So this is another great example. If you really like these little Birthday Bonanza critters, but maybe you're not a fan of the stamp set or don't want to get the stamp set, you can just mix and match. Use the paper, and then so you can just mix and match any birthday greeting set that you may have to go with paper like this or with the dinosaurs or any of our awesome images. I think that's something that they've been doing a lot more of, is having designer paper that has full images that can be cut out. So if you don't mind a little fussy cutting, then you can really get a lot out of these papers and have your focal point as well as your background piece. So I cut this one out. This has got the toucan and the balloons. On my original sample, I used the piece with the party hat. So you may get a different piece in your starter kit. It's either going to be the balloons or the party hat. We're using Bermuda Bay as the cardstock base. This, I just pulled the colors right from the designer paper. So we've got a little Bermuda Bay going on to bring out the party hat or the balloon. And I keep choosing snail adhesive that is almost gone, so I might have to pull another one in a second. I'm going to put this down here at the bottom. This is a really great layout with the designer paper strip and then a solid piece and then a tag and a sentiment. So you could really easily duplicate this layout with any designer paper, whether it was for a birthday or a different occasion. This is a nice easy layout. I'm going to just trim a little bit off the sides. And then for the tag, I'm just threading the ribbon through the tag. I use the tag topper punch to punch this. And this is the delightful tag topper punch. So it's a 2-inch piece of cardstock, and then you put it in and it punches the end of it. So it makes it really easy to do gift tags or cards or tags for cards. Lots of different ways that you can use the tag topper punch. And then I'm just going to tie a bow with the ribbon, and we'll add our toucan with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So this is a really simple card. I try to, when I'm making my monthly project kits, I try to give you an opportunity to try different products without needing to have a lot of additional supplies at home. So for this project, you get to try the Birthday Bonanza paper, and you get to see what that's like with the coordinating ribbon. Whoops, there goes my stamp. Without having to have the stamp set and the dies and all of that stuff. So here we go. We're going to put these on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And then we're going to put Stampin' Dimensionals underneath the tag as well. Very little stamping on this one. All we're going to do is add the sentiment with black ink. And actually, so the free gift this month is those faceted dots. And on my card, I used one of the dots to add a little eye to the toucan and kind of make him pop. So I kind of went back and forth, and I was trying to figure out if this is creepy or if it's okay. So you can decide if you want to add the dot to his eye and kind of give it a little dimension. But I thought it was just kind of fun to add that. You could also just add some of the faceted gems around the toucan. Let's go ahead and finish this off with the happy birthday stamp. Finished card. What do you think of that one? I think I like the balloons better than the party hat, but they are both super, super cute. Okay, let's move on to our last project. This is an ombre effect using the sponge daubers. So the designer paper that I'm using here is the flowering foils. That was part of the celebration offering. However, we have other foil papers, including the brand new Ornate Garden designer paper. And you can do the same technique with that designer paper. Any kind of foil paper that has a white design, this technique is going to be perfect for. So there are multiple different things that you can use for sponging. You can use a sponge brayer. You can use the Stampin' Sponges. I'm going to use the sponge daubers, and we're using two different colors. We're using the soon to be retired Grapefruit Grove and the brand new in color Terracotta Tile. I thought that these complemented each other very well. Now this stamp set is called So Sentimental, and one of my favorites, the Stitched So Sweetly dies. Unfortunately, right now when I'm filming this video, the dies are currently on back order and not available to order. However, I think they're going to be available in just a week or two, so hang in there. It'll be available very soon, but one of my favorite bundles is that So Sentimental bundle. Okay, so let's start with the lighter color. That's the Grapefruit Grove, and we're going to sponge this across the center. Now, when I'm using the sponge daubers, I like to do kind of a rubbing or a burnishing motion, and that just helps to make the color even and not so splotchy. So I'm going to just dab onto the ink pad to pick up the color and burnish and rub the color onto the cardstock. Can you see that transferring? I'm gonna have I want a nice transition between the lighter color and the white. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it lighter on the bottom and maybe go a little darker here on the bottom edge. And then I'm gonna transfer to the other color, the Terracotta Tile, and we're gonna do the darker color with a different sponge dauber. Now again, you can use stamping sponges to do this, or you can use the sponge brayer to do this. So this ink pad is a lot juicier, so I don't need as much on the sponge dauber. I also like to go off the edges a little bit so that you get a nice smooth color transition. If you sponge directly onto the cardstock right away, you may end up with like some sponge marks that are weird. So there's our little ombre look, and you can use, I should have brought like a tissue or a cotton ball. I'm just going to use this piece of sponge, but I just like to brush the color off so that any color or ink that has collected on the foil comes off on that cotton ball or that tissue instead of my project. I don't want to transfer any of that ink. I did this card with a different color, and let me just grab that so you can see. This is mint macaron and shaded spruce, so it's a slightly different color. I used a different pattern from that paper pack, and I'm not sure which one I like better. I kind of like the orange and the red. I think it's a little springier, and oh, there's. And then so this is a 3 by 4 inch piece of designer paper, and I'm layering it onto a piece of 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 terracotta tile, and then I'll add some dimensionals onto the back to put this onto the card front. And we're going to use the terracotta tile to stamp the sentiment. I can't thank you enough. Right in the center. And then I'm just going to add some snail on the back to attach. Oops, I did those on the opposite corners. Attach the leaves, and then we'll attach the tag to the card using Stampin' Dimensionals. One final touch to this card, we're going to add some of those faceted dots. So again, this is included as a free gift in your packet. And every month I send a different kit. So the April project kit is going to include different projects and a different project or a different free gift. All right, let's take a look at all of our projects again. We've got 2 cards and the 3D box. And again, if you would like to earn the April project kit, make sure you put in an order in my online store at juliedavison.com/shop by April 30th, 2020 to be eligible for the next kit, the April kit, which is going to be different than this, but will include a free gift and 3 pre-cut projects. Thanks so much for watching. Happy stamping!